Hello everyone and welcome to a very special episode of what could be a new series on the channel of converting 5th edition monsters to Tales of the Valiant. And in this episode today, we're going to take a look at the Quickling. So what we're going to do for this particular episode is we're going to first take a look at the Quickling and review it again to see where this monster is technically at, and then we're going to port it over to Tales of the Valiant using my tool that you can potentially grab by now if you've been sneaky enough to be checking for the links and whatnot. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. We're going to make this as quick as possible because I've already covered this in a previous video. But for those that are new, let's go ahead and work through this real fast. So we got 16 AC, 3 hit dice, 3d4 hit dice. We've got 4, 23, which is insane, 13, 10, 12, and 7. 23 dexterity is insane. This is supposed to be a CR1. And then we move on down here. So we have nothing to worry about in this section. We move right into the traits. Now here's the interesting thing. Blurred movement. Attack rolls against the Quickling have disadvantage unless it is incapacitated, which means every round of combat, your characters are rolling disadvantage at this. This is very similar to the Blood Frenzy. Yeah, I think that's, the Blood Frenzy by the Sahuagin. The Sahuagin always get advantage when when the character has less than full hit points, which means that's a +4 effective attack bonus. Since the Quickling has this for defenses, we're going to give this Quickling +4 defenses, effective AC bonus. So we're going to go ahead and hit +4 there. And then on top of that, we also have evasion, which we can easily click in somewhere here, which is going to be the Demi-Lich's Avoidance. This is going to give you the same effect, so we're getting +5 technically right now for our Quickling, which is bonkers. On top of that, we have 3 dagger attacks, and with a 23 dexterity for a CR1, mind you, this is going to be a +8 to hit. I mean, look right here. We're already seeing +8 for our 2 hit, and it's 16 if it was using DC, which is just insane. I mean, you can also see it down here. Why? Why does this Quickling have that good of a chance to hit at CR1? It shouldn't be that high. In any event, we're going to go ahead and add in our attack for the dagger, and that's just going to be 8.5. And then we're going to get a multi-attack of 8.5 times 3 because we're attacking 3 times, and then we're going to be doing this every round of combat. We're going to be flying around the board and attacking, especially at 120 feet per round. I don't know what fever dream this came up with from the author of this monster, but it's not balanced. As we can see here, we have a CR4. This is technically a CR4 Quickling. Now, I've said a bunch of times how to fix this, and I believe it's a case of reducing this to 1 and then reducing the dexterity to something a little bit more reasonable. So let's go ahead and put this at 1d4 because I want this to auto adjust. So we got that there, and then we're going to do this here. So let's go ahead and drop this down to, I think, like a 16, and we're getting close. We're getting there. We also have to reduce the 2-hit bonus here. So that's going to be reduced to a 5. And there. Now we finally have a proper Quickling that is a CR1 monster. Now, the problem is that we only have 1 attack, so technically our attacks are smaller, which is not that great. We should be doing something about that. So let's see here. Let's flip this and give this monster 2 attacks, just because it'll make things interesting. And now let's reduce the AC from 16. Yeah, that should have come down anyways, because the bonus should have been 13. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so now that our AC has been reduced properly with the lower dexterity, and we've reworked and reconfigured the monster, now we have a proper CR1 Quickling. 2 multi-attack, 16 dexterity, giving us a +3 bonus, and then everything else just kind of works out properly. I should really look into making this, like updating this a little bit so you don't have to worry about the attack bonus. I'll think about that and work that out in the future. All right, now with this in mind, let's port it over to Tales of the Valiant. And right now I have that right here. So we're going to make our changes as need be. So we're just going to do a -3 modifier. We're going to say +3 for our dexterity, and everything else can stay the same. -2 here. We don't really need to worry about the proficiencies. That doesn't matter. We're not going to worry about... Actually, no, I will throw in the senses because I want to show you some of the extra stuff that hasn't been pushed to the new version yet, but it's a little sneak peek. 60 feet dark vision, and let's see here, legendary bonus, reaction spell casting. We don't have anything like that, so we don't have to worry there. Our creature can move 120 feet, which is bonkers. It's tiny. It is a Fey, so this stuff is just for flavor. We don't really have to worry about that, but like I said, the green spot is for the new part of my tool. What else do we have? We do have evasion, so we can go ahead and click that. So we're getting a -10 bonus so far. And what else can we put in here for the moment? Blurred movement. That is going to be... It's similar to flyby. Now, it's similar to not provoking attacks of opportunity, but not quite. So I would say let's cut the difference here because we're getting disadvantage on the attacks, or disadvantage on the attacks when he moves. So let's say it's going to be 5. We're just going to use one of these -5% here, so we don't have to worry too terribly much about that. Now, the AC was reduced to a 13, so we got that. This should be a CR1 monster. And what else do we need to do here? So far, hit points are coming out okay. Hit points here, 10 for our Quickling. This Quickling is going to be a little different. What else do we have here? Number of hit dice. We're doing a D4 for our dagger, and it's supposed to be dexterity. So we have 5.5 there, which I don't remember if that came out correctly. Let's take a look real quick. Yes, 5.5 here as well. And we are going to do this twice. So let's see here. Our attack is going to be, we're grabbing that there for the average. We're going to cancel that out. And we're going to do a multi-attack of this times 2 for an 11, which is already lining up with the expected DPR, which is good. We don't have any Blood Frenzy because we're not worried about attack bonuses, although we are doing defense bonuses, but we've kind of mitigated that with a -5 for the blurred movement. We have the multi-attack, we have the dagger. That's pretty much it. I think that's all. So let's take a look here. For our Quickling that's being ported over from D&D 1st edition to the other one, and actually we could play around with this. Right now, properly balanced, our Quickling, it looks pretty reasonable actually. There's nothing else that really needs to be checked on. So let's see here. Oh, wait. Concentration, rounds of attack. Oh, yeah, I did not move over that here. There we go. So, as you'll see, some of these are auto-adjusting, which is really nice. So, the concentration has been changed, or, rounds of combat concentration. So, the total is now working out properly. The actual DPR is on the low end. We could probably update this monster a little bit if we wanted to, but we don't have to. And we're getting -15% to our hit point adjustment for everything here so far. Do we have anything else here? It looks like we have stealth and perception. Yes, so I have to click those as well to get that in there. Now, the next thing here is everything else is lining up pretty good. So this is a pretty proper monster. With the adjustments we made in 5th edition here, and actually bringing it down from a CR4 to a proper CR1, we're good. If we wanted to get this on the higher end, because we are on the low end, we could go as far as 18 DPR. So we could say, we could do a 3 multi-attack here. And that's not going to bring us out of the range. And we still have a proper CR1 on the Quickling end. Now, let's think about this for a minute here. In 5th edition, everything else was lining up pretty appropriately. Although our Quickling does have a lot more hit points at 34 adjusted, we have more damage as well. I came to realize this when I was porting over my own monsters, my own custom monsters that I made. And I saw that everything else was lining up. Armor class, hit points, and the attack bonuses were all great. Oh, I actually have to fix this. I forgot about that. So the dexterity bonus is lining up properly too. We still have a -15. Great. So when it came to my custom monsters, I noticed one thing wasn't lining up. The attack damage. Everything porting over from 5th edition to Tales of the Valiant needed to be increased. So I've realized that the monsters in Tales of the Valiant are more deadly than the 5th edition equivalents. So your dragons in Tales of the Valiant are going to be doing a lot more damage while still having the same bonuses. You'll see this in a video that will be released sometime probably this month of the story arc for my Valiant tribe members, the kobolds and the beastkin. That was like, oh yeah, my custom monsters are doing work and I'm following the rules. So that's a story for another time. So here's the other thing. We have the Quickling all set up and ported over. I added a little feature. I worked on this for a couple days and I got some custom code here to print everything from Tales of the Valiant custom monsters here. So running this code, you get a pop-up. And if you grab all the code in this pop-up, take it and go to the home brewery and start yourself a new page, you get yourself a pretty good looking stat block right off the bat. Custom code, borders and everything. It's got some of the stuff here, like Undead Fortitude is going to need to be changed to blurred movement, and everything else is set up appropriately. But now we have a custom Quickling here for Tales of the Valiant. And if you do play Tales of the Valiant, this monster will be set up and in the description below, so you can too use the Quickling in your Tales of the Valiant games, with as deadly as they are now, with 3 attacks like they were wanted here to be done, and a lot more hit points. Proper balances too, so a little easier to hit, but still we'll have all these little extras here. So let's go back real quick and modify this to look like this Quickling here and see how crazy this is and what actually happens to the Quickling. So we're going to go ahead and reset everything, and we're going to put in everything the way it's supposed to be. So we're going to go back to a -3 modifier here, a 6 there, and then 1, 0, 1, and -2. Should be a CR1, and we will just go through this as fast as possible. Dexterity, we have no regen. The attack is going to be this here. And then we are doing this 3 times. We're going to put that there. So we're getting 25.5. So we're going over the actual expected amount based on the original D&D 5th edition Quickling here. Then we also need, we don't really need to worry about any of this, but we do have the evasion. I'm going to go ahead and use the Undead Fortitude again. And that's pretty much it there. Let's see here. So, oh, no, we got to do dexterity, and then what else? Let's see. Yes, okay, so the AC's creature is higher than the maximum, and it's got more damage. It's got 3 times as much damage than it should on the maximum end. So what this is saying is that the maximum it should have is 18, but it's actually got 25. The difference is 7.5, but because it didn't hit the 8 mark, we're only taking 3 changes by every 2. So that's actually working out to be -15 plus -5 for being 1 AC over the expected, which should be a 15, but we're getting 16 here. So that's going to be a total of 20, plus an additional 10 here and another 5 there. So we're looking at -35 hit point adjustment to our Quickling. And this 5th edition version, as is, would be a 26. So I'll throw both of those in there. We'll print this one out too, and we'll have the adjusted Quickling and the non-adjusted Quickling for you to use in your Tales of the Valiant, since everything technically should be working out properly in this system because of how everything is balanced out. So there we go. We have our broken Quickling, and we have our not so broken Quickling for Tales of the Valiant from our 5th edition counterpart. So remember, if you'd like to go ahead and grab this Quickling for use in your Tales of the Valiant games, by all means, grab it from my from the description in the link below. And then also, make sure you're not using this Quickling in your 5th edition games, because it is highly, highly broken for what is to be expected. In any event, thank you so much for watching this special episode of converting 5th edition to Tales of the Valiant, and hopefully we'll do some more. If this video gets a lot of traction, then I'll do more for the fun of it. So if you like it, please make sure to, if you want to see more, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know what monster you would like to see converted next, and we'll go from there. Thanks everyone, and I hope to see you again in this video series. Bye for now.